Hey everyone, I'm Ron Klopfanstein, and you're in the hot seat on a Media Monday. We want to welcome everyone watching this broadcast on Facebook Live, streaming us on 955theheat.com, and listening on 95.5 FM The Heat. Tonight, we've got a show packed with creativity, community impact, and local achievement. In our first segment, we're joined by Kassandra Garcia from the United Way of the Mohawk Valley to talk about the upcoming Impact Award Honoree Breakfast. It's a celebration of people making a difference in our community, and I'm honored to be one of this year's winners. If you'd like to learn more, you want to have breakfast with me, you can go to unitedwaymv.org/breakfast. But first, photojournalist and AI content producer Jim Hale, Associate Producer Nick Phillips, and I went to Utica University for a look at Armada, an early modern swashbuckling stage combat spectacle written and directed by Jim Drake. We have this report. I'm Ron Klopfanstein at Strubble Auditorium, where Utica University Theater Department is rehearsing for Armada, an early modern swashbuckling stage combat spectacle. I'm with Jim Drake, and Jim, you're not only the director, you actually wrote the play too, right?
I did.
So now, what story wasn't being told that you wanted to tell with this piece?
Well, selfishly, Sir Francis Drake may or may not be an ancestor of mine.
Oh, really? And the same name?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I was always interested in that in the first place. This moment in history is what kind of came about.
So the Armada is a Spanish Armada.
Yes.
Yeah, that was defeated by Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth, right?
Yes.
We shall soon have a historical victory against these enemies of my God, my kingdom, and of my people.
Claire Bosley plays Queen Elizabeth I. Who was Queen Elizabeth to you? You know, she's obviously a historical figure, someone we all have ideas about, but like to you, playing her, what do you think she was like? Who was she to you?
The main thing that comes to me is the word strength. She is somebody that has lived a life that has expectations of who she should be, and basically said, nah, I'm not doing that. Queen Elizabeth I never got married. She was known as a virgin queen. She was standing up to these male historic princes and kings, and
she was a fighter.
She was a fighter. If she could have been on that battlefield, and I say that a lot in the show, like, I'm gonna go fight them myself then. If she could have been on that battlefield fighting, she would have been.
Yeah.
And so
a lot of what comes to me is the strength.
That. Oh yeah, she was a leader of the charge in a way that I think a lot of royal figures weren't.
Yeah.
She was right there with them.
Females weren't, which is why she's so extraordinary.
Exactly, yeah.
Derek Neckrits plays Sir Francis Walsingham, and he also serves as plays flight captain.
It is a bit of a challenge to have to learn fight choreography and deliver lines.
Right.
Nobody really talks about how challenging that is. The important kind of hidden part of it is telling a story as you go. So in the scene that you just saw, Walsingham has control the whole time. His movements reflect it. He fights with a smaller weapon because A, he's not scared, and B, since he has that control, he is not worried about if this man opposite him is a danger. It's all part of his sort of cat and mouse game.
Justin Jones, who's a popular and accomplished local actor, plays Hawkins. He's both a knight and a shipwright. How do you learn how to fight on stage with a sword? What do you put into the performance to make it exciting, but also make it safe and make it so it's perfectly timed and choreographed?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
So think of it a lot like you'd choreograph a dance number. You know, like if you're going to throw a punch, where you're throwing the punch, the person has the cue of where to dodge the punch.
Right.
And then you just do it at rapid succession, and you practice it hundreds of times. So by the time you actually get there, it's just as safe as us talking. And if I were standing back 10 feet throwing a punch as it is right next to you.
So really, like by the time you're done with the rehearsal, It must be just like as if you're doing any other scene. Like you stand here, you move like this. And stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that I always preach about when doing it is, in any gym does it, anyone that you talk to, is make sure the cue's there. So if the cue is my arm's back here and my arm doesn't end up there, well then the next thing doesn't move forward because otherwise someone randomly gets hit in the face.
And the person wants to anticipate like where you're going to be.
Exactly. So there's very big cues that as an actor you notice, but as someone watching the show, because of the dramaticness of everyone moving, the progression,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't notice that me going like this is a cue, you just think it's just back for a punch.
Octavia Dragato is a student athlete. This is her first time in a college play.
At first it was hard to learn sword fighting, like the transition from wrestling to sword fighting because there's similar stances. But
Really? So you're a college wrestler?
yes,
And what is the same? Well, what are some of those similarities?
we kind of have to stand similar. I had to learn, instead of crouching down for wrestling, I had to learn to stand up straight.
Interesting.
Yes.
So you're sort of like also like you're kind of acting with your sword. You're kind of acting with your body, with your movements and stuff. How do you put your character? How do you convey that emotion when you're doing the fighting, the sword fighting, the fencing stuff?
Well, when we first learned, we learned how to sword fight and sword fight with emotion.
So when people come to see this play, what do you want them to see?
I want them to see something entertaining. I want them to realize that this isn't something, Shakespeare's time is not something to be feared, right? It's something that you can embrace just as well as you would any TV show, anything like that. It's also something that can excite you.
So when people come to see the play, what do you want them to see?
Honestly, it's going to be a great time. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be really fun. The special effects that I've already seen, and I haven't even seen all of it, are really cool. The sword fighting, the spectacle.
Super exciting.
Oh yeah,
all the fighting and stuff. Yeah.
It's not a show where you're leaving in tears, but it's a show where you're going to walk away saying, that was a cool
It was
show.
really cool. Yeah. Well, great. Can't wait to see the play. You're one of my favorite actors, so it's going to be awesome.
Awesome, thank you.
Armada is an action-packed historical spectacle. It opens on Friday, April 17th, and it runs through Sunday, April 19th. At Utica University, I'm Ron Klopfanstein for 95.5 FM, The Heat. We're going to have that story streaming tonight at 9 p.m. You can find it on my YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Well, this full episode of Hot Seat Media Monday, streaming Wednesday at 9 p.m. at uticaphoenix.net/Media Monday. Joining me now is Kassandra Garcia from the United Way of the Mohawk Valley. We're talking about the upcoming Impact Award Honoree Breakfast, the work the United Way does in our area, and what this event means for the community. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me,
And
Ron.
thank you again. I mean, this award means so much to me. It really does. It's just I can't even put it into words. So thank you.
Well, you deserve it. You're always going out to the community, and it's an honor to even have you come.
Thank you so much for this. So now, what are these awards? I know about them, but for our audience here.
Yeah, so we're going to be honoring 8 local leaders and organizations across the Mohawk Valley. I won't spoil it, but I will say that we are going to be honoring community leadership, volunteerism, and
Such good things.
yeah,
You know, that
definitely.
we really need. Yeah.
so also our funded partners like Loaves and Fishes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I will say there's going to be a lot of cool people coming. So
I can't wait for
Like
this.
you, Ron.
Yeah, and people can buy tickets. You can
Yes.
talk to me at breakfast. I don't eat much, so I'll talk all the way through. I can tell you about all my guests, and it's going to be so great just to see people there and to to celebrate all this stuff too.
definitely.
And of course, being celebrated is nice too. But
Yes,
but
it is.
it's really, I'm just really happy about this. So now, you've been talking to a bunch of us for this award thing. You're doing this podcast now inside the Impact. I love to interview people, and I feel like I learn from every person I talk to. How are you finding the experience of doing this podcast?
Super easy as you go, I realize. It's scary at first.
It is.
But once you talk more and more, you kind of feel more natural with it.
Yeah.
And you learn from the speakers that come too.
I was gonna say, so who are some people you've talked to?
Yes, so I interviewed you, Ron.
Yep.
And then we interviewed our CEO, and
Yep.
then we also interviewed Kassandra Wright, who is also
Yes.
one of our honorees.
She is.
Yes.
So now, when you're talking to people about what do you look for? What do you do? What determines impact?
Really?
How do you define that?
Authenticity, like if they're just genuine, and you could just really see someone's passion just in the way that they work.
Yeah.
I met Kassandra, and wow, she was so much fun. And she had so much to talk about her work, and even you did, Ron. And that, I would say, defines.
It was a great experience doing that podcast. I really enjoyed that.
I appreciate it.
It was nice to be a guest instead of the host. You had to do all the hard work.
You would say you think it's less work.
Well, it was so nice to just like talk and not think about like, when do I have to wrap this up by? Do a commercial, this or that, just to talk and go on and on. It was really a nice experience. So now, what does United Way do?
Wow.
You do a lot.
Yes. We serve our community by helping them with community responsiveness, financial wellness, and health.
Yeah.
So we try to stay within those three focus areas, whether that means giving programs, services like 2-on-1, Ride United. We really try to listen to what our community needs, and
it's good to you help people organize and collaborate, and like a lot of nonprofits do such great work, and like what they have only within their scope, and so this is a good way for like the nonprofits to kind of work together and everyone to work together, and you really see that like when the tornadoes hit, what the United Way does, and the importance.
Yes.
I love that 2-on-1 program. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, it's multilingual and it's 24/7. So
that's such a great idea to have that.
Right? You can visit it online, you can text it, you can call it.
And you can ask for any kind of help, and like you give information, referrals, and like tell people where to go and stuff.
Yes. We have a lot of individuals that come to our building that are requesting for help, and they find that 2-on-1 really is a useful resource for them. So we're very, very appreciative of that service.
Such a good idea, Now, who are some of the other nominees, and like the ones you can reveal, and like what kinds of why celebrate this stuff? Why is it important?
Wow. Well, our community has a lot of leaders, and we can only showcase a lot. But we hope that we can highlight all the individuals that made our community what it is with this one event, bringing everyone together. And I can highlight Kassandra Wright, who I've podcast, who was on our podcast. Right. She's the director of school-based mental health at ICANN.
Oh, great!
Yes,
ICANN.
And she is going to be awarded the Community Voice and Advocacy Impact Award.
Nice.
And I mean,
what is she like? What kind of qualities does she have that makes her a leader?
She's so dedicated and so appreciative of her team. I would ask her, what makes you a leader? And she says, my team.
Oh, I like that.
She
attitude.
never really, she just was very open-minded and very progressive in the way she thought about things.
And leadership is so important.
I agree.
I teach 8th graders, I teach college freshmen and stuff, and like it's really something to celebrate and to talk about and to model and to demonstrate and to encourage, I think.
Yes.
To be leaders.
Yes, and just in the fact that she was just able to highlight her team and to understand that meant the world to
It really
just
says
see.
a lot.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. So it must be interesting for you to like meet all these leaders, and like you do this, you've done this awards before, but like in your daily work, you work with people, so many unsung heroes too,
Yeah.
So what is that like to the people that to work with the people that really do the work every day in the trenches and really maybe not get the accolades, but that are like demonstrating, modeling what leadership is?
It's inspiring. It really is inspiring, and for someone like me, I see it and I love to learn from them, especially how they move and how they speak with everyone else. And I think it's really impactful to see them get honored because they deserve it. A lot of the times, leaders that serve the community don't get the recognition. And it's just I'm honored to have our team recognize these amazing leaders and organizations that really work every day. for our community.
It really means a lot too. And sometimes people that do this kind of work, you know, there at times we kind of get criticism too. So we get the opposite, especially in being media, especially if you're a minority. So it's really nice to have this kind of thing because, you know, I think no matter who we are, we all need to pat on the back at times.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
So what is this breakfast like? What's going to be like at this breakfast?
It's gonna
what
be
should I
fun.
wear now? Do I have to wear a suit or cat cakes, a polo? Like I don't even know. Like.
Ooh, you know, business.
Okay,
I would
that's kind
definitely
of what
be
I thought.
professional.
So, I got my Kenneth Cole designer
Yes.
suit in the closet, ready to go.
Right.
Happy
It's
to
going to
wear
be
it.
at Vernon Downs Casino.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you ever been there, it's very
Yes,
fancy.
it is.
So I would dress very nice.
Yeah,
And you're also
yeah.
an honoree. Come on.
Yeah, right.
So definitely wear what makes you feel comfortable.
Well, I'm going to wear my Kenneth Cole suit, you know?
Oh,
That's right.
I can't wait to see you.
From Destiny Mall, you know?
Yes, you just got it.
Yes, that's what I wear when I had it for last year's Press Club Award. So it's my lucky suit. So it's more than designer suit, my lucky suit.
I cannot wait.
So it's going to be so exciting. So
Yes.
I love breakfast too, you know? So.
Yes, they're going to have food. And we're also having a cool component that we're going to have kind of broadcasting a virtual component. So anyone that
Really?
can join virtually, yes.
Oh, wow. I
So-
like the sound of that, you know?
You sure do.
Like our Facebook Live audience
Yes,
here, you know?
exactly like
Yeah.
that. So we're
Oh,
really
that's
excited
really
about that.
Great. That's really nice.
Yes.
So it'll be so nice. People can come and buy tickets and buy their, you know, when they do that, they also support the United Way.
Yes.
So it's a good fundraiser too.
Yes, full circle moment. It really is.
Yeah. It'll be nice, you know. I hope to meet people there and you talk
Oh,
to
you
them about
will.
what they do. Yeah, I
You
can't
will.
wait for
200
that part.
plus people will come.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Now I'm nervous.
Oh no.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
You talk
know,
every
oranges.
day, you'll be
I
fine.
know, but getting up in front of people is different, you know. But no, it's going to be great. I'm so excited. I'm so happy about this. And I want to tell people again, come to this. So this is at unitedwaymv.org/breakfast.
Correct. You got it.
Breakfast. That's going to be great. So in your podcast, Inside the Impact, how do people hear that? Probably unitedwaymv.org is probably where you start.
/podcast.
/podcast.
Yes.
Great. And I think there's some promos of mine up there, but not the whole thing's coming soon, right?
So yours is coming May 6th.
Oh my gosh!
Wait,
wow.
April
wow.
16th.
Oh,
I thought
neat.
it was May for some reason.
Wow.
Sorry.
Because I heard the clip too. You know? It's
Yes.
like so interesting to like hear a clip of myself that like I didn't produce.
Oh, it's gotta be trippy, huh?
It was. I'm like, I don't remember making that. Oh wow, that's a podcast. Like, oh, that's really cool.
Yes.
So I'm so excited. I'm so grateful for this. Thank you. And the United Way does such great work. It's so great to have you guys on the show, talk about the stuff you've done. Of course, you're always welcome on this show. So I look forward to seeing you at the breakfast. We've been talking today with Kassandra Garcia from the United Way of the Mohawk Valley about the upcoming Impact Award Honoree Breakfast. I'll be there. Come and have breakfast with me. When we come back, we'll continue on with more creativity and community as we welcome Magic Visions, producer and podcaster, to the show. And again, you want to learn more about that breakfast? UnitedWayMV.org/breakfast. You're listening to 95.5 FM The Heat. I'm Ron Klopfanstein. You're in the hot seat on a Media Monday. I'll have more after the break. This is Ron Klopfanstein. You're in the hot seat on a Media Monday. Hey everyone, welcome back to the hot seat on this Media Monday. I'm Ron Klopfanstein. Before the break, we were talking to Kassandra Garcia from the United Way of the Mohawk Valley about the upcoming Impact Award Honoree Breakfast. And again, you want to come to that breakfast? It's at unitedwaymv.org/breakfast. Now we're going to turn to another guest who's doing creative work in our community. His name is Glow. Glow has a podcast, and he joins us here in the studio. Nick is here as well. Glow, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. How you doing?
Good. So tell me about your podcast.
So my podcast is just like awareness for underground artists. I just bring attention to underground artists and also artists that already that's been established. But it's just, you know, just a platform to bring up others, you know.
That's a really good reason to have a podcast, you know, because underground and indie people, we don't get the corporate promotion that we need. We have to count on each other really at times to promote ourselves. So who are some of the people that you've interviewed on your podcast? And why did you choose them as guests?
Well, I interviewed, do you want underground or do you want...
Yeah, like who are some underground artists that
I interviewed an artist named J3. He's a young 18-year-old kid from out here. He's pretty good, and that's the reason why I interview him, because he's pretty good, and he don't have a large fan base, and a lot of people don't tune into him. So I figured that if we could help each other, I bring him on my platform, and and we just share our following.
What are some of the things that you talked about? Like who's he all about? What's he all about?
With that episode, I basically touched on situations that was more important to him and his generation, because I'm a little older. Yeah. So he's 18, so I was just talking about the at-risk youth and things you would do to change it, things to do to not follow, and what to keep you focused on your craft.
Yeah,
and definitely in a time of like noise,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So do you make music yourself, or are you more of like the behind the scenes?
Nah, I just love music. Yeah, that's just my thing. I just love music.
And you do the podcast, like you're like me, you're a journalist, so right. So I love music too, and that just doing the podcast to promote these people is just really great. It's good to get people to talk about life from their perspective, like an 18-year-old talking about 18-year-old issues.
Yes.
What's important to him, So what are some of the things that what is important to an 18-year-old, and why does he make a good podcast guest?
What was important to him was his craft and staying focused, and also just not being a follower in a time like this, and just making sure you stay on top of yourself and keeping yourself motivated,
right,
and pushing.
Yeah.
So for your podcast, what's kind of been the growth been like with that? When did you start it?
I want to say I started it 2 years ago, but I officially started a year ago. Like the reason why I say officially, because I actually got
your first season, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations on
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's a big milestone.
Yeah. But basically, I'm so sorry. What was the question again? I'm proud.
Just kind of like, what's the growth that you've seen from when you first started it to now?
Oh, a lot of growth. I learned how to be patient, how you have to be on top of things. You have to make sure that you're just staying focused and communicating with your team, and making sure you're showing your team the same respect that they're showing you.
Who is your team?
My team consists of basically 3 people.
Well, that's actually pretty big for a team nowadays in media,
I have Magic Production, and I have my manager, Sheik.
Yeah. What are you going to be doing in season 2?
Season 2?
Actually, what's your podcast called?
Oh, Welcome to the Trap.
Welcome to the Trap?
Yes, Trap.
And is this on like Spot? What platforms?
Right now, we're working on a website, but right now it's on YouTube, and we're soon to get it on Spotify and all networks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you do stuff, you mentioned with mic drops as well?
Yes.
So can you kind of explain to our audience what that is?
Mic drop is like, I have artists come in and they perform their songs live.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So they come in the studio and then do
like
it.
on the radar.
No, like on the radar. Yeah. Exactly. I know Gabe too.
Yeah.
He's a close friend.
So they perform like in your studio, then you talk to them afterwards?
Actually, we actually pick, it doesn't really matter where we at. We just bring a microphone that hangs in front of them, and they perform. Sometimes we've did some videos outside. We did some inside of our live studio. So it don't really matter.
What have been some of the locations like for the outside ones that you've done?
Actually, I did one at my friend. I don't know if you know him. My friend Cash Cobain house. I did one on his balcony in New Jersey, and his house is beautiful. That was one of my favorite ones. Like just the.
That must have been nice.
The view of it was.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I did an episode on my podcast on there too with him.
Oh, nice, nice. Where does your podcast usually originate from? Is it Utica?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Utica. So you do it in the Magic Vision studio, like most of the time, or is that like your home base? Or
yeah, we have 2 locations where we usually do it at. We usually do it at the original studio, Welcome to the Trap original studio, or we do it at a Jet Lab studio.
So, with the on the the mic dropped at the thing, so not to.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
What type of artists have you had feature on that?
So far, I had my boy Trago come on there. I had Swift the director. I had my boy J3 come on there for a mic drop too. We got one that's being edited right now with R Dollars.
And Street Soprano from
BSF. Soprano from BSF. Who else? My boy Cash Cobain's sister, she did one too.
what makes a good podcast guest for you?
Me personally, I feel like I could talk to anybody.
Yeah,
I feel like I could bring that out of anybody.
So
like I just need you to be focused and aware to the conversation. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
Once you're aware to the conversation, I kind of could get a conversation out of you.
Yeah. Do you ever talk to journalists too? I'd like to be a guest on your podcast.
I would love for you to come down.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
Yeah, I would definitely love that.
So, what's your process of preparing for the interviews? Like, do you write your questions down ahead of time? Do you like just think them over ahead of time, or do you do it more in the moment?
Me, I'm more of looking to the guests. I look into the catalog. I look into their music. I check social medias and stuff like that. Just figure out what type of person I'm gonna be talking to, and just ask them questions based on their future and their past.
Yeah. It's a conversation. You know, it's like it develops naturally.
And it's usually off the head, and I don't really.
Right. It's better if it's kind of.
I like organic conversation.
Oh, I do too. Yeah.
So have you noticed your podcast helping the growth of some of these artists that you've brought on, especially like the underground ones?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, like these underground artists, where do they perform? And how do you find them?
Some of them happen to be my friend, and some of them happen to be people that I just come across listening to music.
Yeah.
So, and like, I've met a group of people from Albany, Magic introduced me to. Great people. I was just talking to them literally just before we started the show.
Oh, cool.
But great music, just don't have a large fan base. You know?
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
And we all need somebody to lean on.
Absolutely.
So
getting that fan base is the hardest part. Getting established. You know.
Yeah, that's really what it is all about. So
right.
I mean, you want to try your hardest to get that done.
Yep.
So what kind of got you into music?
I just always loved music. Like it's just always been a thing for me.
What got you into podcasting?
My friend who helped me with the name, my friend Guap, he has a clothing line, and we were just talking about all of our positionings and the brand.
Yeah.
So everybody, we needed somebody to basically talk to the artists. So they was like, Glow, you perfect for it. You know how to talk to everybody. Like,
right.
And you love having conversation. Like, this is what you like to do on a daily. So.
Exactly. Like for people like you and I, like I'm not a musician. I don't do acting. I tried. I wasn't good at it. But I do this kind of thing. You know?
I haven't tried acting.
This is great.
I always felt like I'd be good
lines.
at it.
You probably would be. I think it would be better than me because I cannot remember lines.
I can see you acting though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought I could see myself too, but then when it came down to like remembering, we got to stand here and say this, and it didn't work out that great. But I'm good at this. I got the podcast.
Yeah, That's great.
So,
that's
so
great.
that's
At least you found your niche.
how I feel. Exactly. Right. And so did you. It sounds
No,
like.
definitely.
So like it's great that you took that step to actually like having your own podcast.
Yes.
And I bet like for me, I know doing the show, I'll be in. This is actually like. I think right now is actually officially I'm in my 3rd year, but season 2, like because I'm kind of calling the fall this fall season. Thanks, I feel like I've improved so much in the past two years. How have you improved? I bet you've improved too.
I feel like I improved better with like my speech.
Me too. Yes, that's the thing with me too.
Yeah,
yes.
I feel like I enunciate a lot better.
Me too. Yeah.
And I feel like just me carrying the conversation more.
Yep.
It comes a little more fluent.
You know what's good about a podcast is like it makes you pay attention to the person you're talking to so much.
Yeah.
It makes you better as a person able to do that.
No, definitely.
Because you have to pay such good attention and like you can't be thinking about other stuff because then you lose track, So I think that's one of the good things for me too.
And you just got to stay focused during
You
this
do,
moment.
and that's like an exercise,
And people don't understand how hard it is.
They
sometimes.
don't understand.
There be a million things going on around you, and you're trying to stay focused on your conversation.
Right, and you don't want to think too far ahead to questions because then they might not match what the person just said. And it's like there's so much,
And then you don't want to ask an ongoing question.
I know, right, yes, yeah.
So how'd you get the name Glow?
Good question.
One day I was just in our house with my friends, and we all lived together, and I was just like, I'm gonna call myself Glorious. And then we just kept going saying, actually, my friend Cash, I'm lying. My friend Cash was in the house, he was calling me B.I.G. Notorious B.I.G. and then I was like, nah, call me Glorious. I'm not notorious, I'm Glorious. and then they was walking around the house going, Glorious. And then I started calling myself Glorious. And then my other friend, he's incarcerated right now, my friend Arch, his name for me was Global.
Oh, okay. Glow, I like that too,
Every time it was a win-win with Glow. So I was just like, all right, Glow.
That is a great name. And again, what's your podcast called?
Welcome to the Trap.
Welcome to the Trap.
It's like a double entendre. That's how you say it?
Oh, and what?
A double entendre?
Yeah.
Oh, double entendre.
Oh, yeah.
With 2 meanings?
Yeah. Right. So, what podcast do you listen to?
I watch.
You're gonna start listening to mine, I'm sure.
No, definitely. I've tuned in a few
Put
times.
you on the spot. Oh, you have.
No, I have.
Thank
I
you.
definitely have.
I really
I tuned
appreciate
in a
that.
few
Wow.
times.
Thanks.
Definitely.
Thanks.
I watch $1 Million Worth of Game. I watch. I forgot the name of it, but Gilbert Arenas podcast.
Okay. The Smoke.
Yeah.
The Smoke.
Yo, I love his podcast. He's hilarious. Gilbert Arenas podcast. I also started watching Carmelo Anthony's.
Yeah,
because he has some great stories on there. And I watch a lot of podcasts.
It's a great way to improve your own craft.
Yeah, that's the real reason why I watch it, because it just showed me a lot of natural conversations and ways to go about it.
Exactly. There's one I listened about music called the Hip Parade, and this guy he analyzes the Billboard charts. So he talks about music like 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s and now, but by how the artist did on the Billboard charts, like look at their career and stuff. I listen to it every night, and one of the good things about that is it's by listening to it so much, it's taught me to match his speed and slow myself down,
Yeah.
Because effective podcasting is a lot slower than regular talking, and you have to enunciate too. So it's such good practice, I think, to practice that. Because I'm a teacher too, so it's good with the kids. I try to do that with my classes.
Yeah, what grade you teach?
I teach eighth grade at JFK down in for Utica.
My brother used to go to JFK.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So did you graduate from Utica schools? Utica schools too?
Donovan.
Oh, so that's the other school. Yeah, I'm in JFK, but yeah, it's a great school. Yeah. So, Glow, tell us one more time before you go. How can people hear your podcast? Where do they go? What should they listen to for season 2?
All right, my podcast is on YouTube. Welcome to the Trap. For season 2, we've got into season 2. If you guys haven't checked out season 1, check out season 2. I got great episodes on season 2 so far. I have an episode with Cash Cobain I would love for you guys to check out. Yeah, it's beautiful. Like, that episode is just beautiful. It was just so natural, the conversation, because, you know, that's my friend for years. So, like, it just was a natural convo. Like, we just was just sitting there.
Those
relaxing.
are the best ones.
Yeah, we were just sitting there relaxing, just talking.
Yeah.
And we went on for so long, we almost did a part 2
really
to the 1 hour episode.
Oh my gosh.
So like, yeah, it was just so natural. And we also got another episode with my boy Guap. He has a clothing line, Trap
That's
Floor.
really cool. He has a clothing line?
Yeah.
I'd love to get him on the show. Like, is he local too?
Yes.
I'd love to get him on the show. I've never interviewed someone with that. Yeah,
Definitely,
maybe he can set that up
He has
for me. Or you
a
can
clothing
set that
line, a
up.
big clothing line right now, Trap Floor.
Wow.
He's doing great.
Can you help him get in touch with me?
Yeah,
I'd love to have him on the show,
definitely.
so.
I was just talking to him before I came here. He just told me good luck.
That is really cool. If someone does that.
If you're watching, brother, because I sent everybody the link.
We'd love to have you on the show on this podcast here.
Yeah.
So good for you, what you're doing. Like, that is so important to celebrate and to promote the indies, the underground, the people like us.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, we've been talking to Glow. He's a producer and podcaster. When we come back, we're going to turn the spotlight on one of our own. Nick recently won an award from the Raymond Simon Institute at Utica University. We're going to have a feature story about the achievement. And again, you want to be part of the upcoming Impact Award Honoree Breakfast. Have breakfast with me and the other people who get awards here. You can find out more information at unitedwaymv.org/breakfast. I'm Ron Klopfanstein. You're in the hot seat on a Media Monday. I'll have more after the break. Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Before we go tonight, we want to recognize one of our own, Associate Producer Nick Phillips. Recently won an award from the Raymond Simon Institute at Utica University. And tonight, we're proud to share that story with you. We have this report.
Nick Phillips is our next recipient. Since I first met Nick as a student in Introduction to Public Relations, I've been reading his stories in the Tangerine. As a sports reporter for the Tangerine, Nick writes interesting stories about various teams, and his critiques are spot on. Nick is also a Super Bowl celebrity at the Tangerine. For the past 4 years, he has written Super Bowl predictions that have left many thinking he has powers. A prognosticator, perhaps? He's proud of the tradition he started at the Tangerine, which has become his legacy. As a student, Nick is inquisitive. He asks interesting questions and can always be relied upon to provide thought-provoking responses. It then encouraged more active discussion from the class. There is no doubt that Nick loves sports. At WPNR, he is the sports director. This semester, he's interning as a production assistant at 95.5 FM, The Heat, and its segment named Hot Seat. For a guy who is always calm and easygoing, I highly doubt Nick will ever be on a hot seat anywhere. Congratulations, Nick.
So Nick, why don't you tell me about your award?
So I run a writing award here for my time at Utica University. Throughout my time here, I've worked for the Tangerine since my sophomore year. I did a couple voluntary stuff my freshman year, but when I got to my sophomore year, I became the sports reporter, and the last 3 years, I've worked closely with Mary Christopher and the rest of the staff there, and so I just really made an effort to get my writing skills better and just become a better writer. And throughout that time, I've won this award actually twice. Now I won it my sophomore year here as well, and so just RSI, I've won a couple awards with them. I won a different one a couple of months ago, and just, yeah, I've done a lot of great work that they've honored me for so far here at Utica. So I'm here with Grace Christopher. Grace, you won the RSI Tangerine Excellence Award.
Yes.
Can you talk about what your contribution has been to the Tangerine since you've been here at Utica?
Yeah, so I was always interested in joining the Tangerine. My mom's the advisor, so for a good like almost like 10 years of my life, I always heard about the Tangerine, what was going on, and I transferred into Utica fall of 2024. So I knew it was something I wanted to do. And I think I just love how students are free to express themselves in a lot of ways. Like, I love makeup, so I've written a few stories about like my reviews and different things. So I love the freedom. I love being able to be a voice on campus and writing about some of the different things going on or important issues. I think it's always good to, you know, keep the campus informed and things, and I think it's really a nice addition to our campus, and I'm thankful we have it.
Do you have an article that you've written in the past since your time here at Utica that you've been exceptionally proud of that you want to talk about?
Probably my first article I've ever written. There was alumni on campus that were part of the radio station from, I think, 1968 to 1972, so kind of way back when. And I've always I've always loved like media from that time. So I think talking to people that were part of the radio station and reported what was going on around campus at that time, I just thought it was really cool. And they talked for almost an hour and a half, and that being my first interview, that was a very like long time, and I definitely learned a lot on how to, again, like pick out the important things and condense things. And yeah, I would say that's my favorite and the one I'm most proud of.
What do you like about writing in media, in like reporting?
So for me, it kind of started as sports. You know, I've always really liked sports since I was a kid, but I kind of knew I wanted to do something with them, but I didn't know really what. And I've always been creative. I remember being like in 3rd grade, and I remember I got detention, and I just sat there one day, and I started writing about this fox who like was at an amusement park. I forgot how I got the idea for it. I just started writing it, and all of a sudden I had like a 50-page like mini book almost of this fox. And ever since then, I feel like that was when I really started learning my love for writing. And so it started with like creative writing. Like I always liked writing about stories that I experienced, like from my first-hand perspective, and then from there I got more into more journalistic writing. So once I got here, I started. I had a media writing class with Mary Christopher, and I started learning how to write not only sports but feature stories. And from there, I started off writing sports for the Tangerine, some Super Bowl articles, but I also covered stuff like when they closed the downtown center, more like feature news. So can you describe what the Ray Simon Institute is and what the impact of the Institute is on Utica University?
Yes, so the Ray Simon Institute was founded in honor of Ray Simon. And Ray was a true pioneer for Utica University, then Utica College. He started the public relations program here and public relations education in the United States, really. And then once he retired, the RSI was formed in his honor, sort of like an alumni organization that helps the current students at Utica University. And like awards and scholarships were established for students in the communication and media program. And it's like for alumni to be able to connect with current students, whether it be just mentoring or maybe helping with internships, you know, things like that. So it's like a association to help current students stay connected with alumni.
So you're the advisor of the Tangerine, the on-campus newspaper here on campus. Can you kind of describe to our audience who may not be familiar about what the Tangerine is?
Yes, so the Tangerine is Utica University's student newspaper. We're as old as the university. We started in 1946 with the then college. And we print bi-weekly now. It used to be weekly, but now bi-weekly. But we're a full digital, as you know, digital publication and operate online with social media platforms and things. And you know, we cover news on campus, and of course features and sports too. But hoping to cover like the big news stories is more like, you know, our wheelhouse. We go after those stories.
So what advice would you have for someone who's a student, a high school student, maybe who's considering coming to Utica University for this?
Well, I'd say get in touch with the different media outlets here, whether it's TV with Laura Lewin, whether your passion is broadcasting sports with Doug Croft, writing with Mary Christopher. I think the most important thing you can do here is get involved with one of the outlets. We're so fortunate as a school to have all of these different outlets here firsthand that you can just take a 1-credit practicum and get real world experience to help you set up for an internship, set up for a job outside of here. So I remember being a freshman here, and the advisor at the time, David Chinatry, who's no longer here, but he was a former NBC producer. I remember him telling me my freshman year that, you got to get involved with the Tangerine. A lot of these big guys like Stephen A. Smith, these guys on TV, they got their start with journalism. So he was like one of the first guys to tell me to get involved with there, and it just, was an opportunity that I pursued. So I tell people to, I give people the same advice that he once gave me when I was a freshman.
So Nick is joining me in the studio now. Nick, how good are your Super Bowl predictions? How accurate have you been?
Pretty. I don't want to boast, but really accurate.
Really?
So I didn't. For some reason, my freshman year, I didn't pick a winner. It was more of just like the perspective of who do people on campus think's gonna win.
Yeah.
But sophomore, junior year, senior year, I did it. And so sophomore year, I picked the correct winner, the Chiefs. I was a point off of the exact score. I had the score of 24-21.
Oh
and
my
the score
gosh.
was 25-22.
Wow.
And then I picked the Eagles right last year, and then this year I had the Seahawks right. Score was a little bit off.
Yeah.
But I remember writing in it, don't be surprised if Kenneth Walker wins the Super Bowl MVP, and then he won the Super Bowl MVP.
Wow. So how did you do that? You just know so much about sports? Or?
Yeah. So I've always been a big NFL fan, probably for like 10 years now, probably since like middle school. And so I've just, I watch every Sunday, every team. I'm a Steelers fan, but I've always loved, watching the whole league.
Yeah.
And so I kind of always, this year, for example, I kind of saw Seattle, their defense is super good. I had them. They just looked like the best team, and I was like, well, they're going up against New England. New England isn't the best offensive line. Seattle's got the good pass rush. They're probably going to win the game. And on offense, I looked at it like Seattle's going to get the lead. They're going to hand the ball off. They're going to run a lot, the clock out by running the ball. Kenneth Walker, watch out for him to have a big game, and that's kind of exactly what happened.
Wow. So do you like writing about sports the best?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've covered the Super Bowl and stuff. That's kind of been the only professional sports that I've covered. But I cover a lot of on-campus sports. I've wrote a lot about Utica football, Utica basketball last year, and then a couple other feature stories off of that.
Why do you like to write about sports?
I mean, I love sports and I love writing, so it just kind of mixes both those passions together. And I always knew I loved sports, but I didn't really know I loved writing until I got here. I was always a good writer, but it kind of.
You were great in my class.
Yeah, freshman year.
Yeah,
when I had you for written communications.
101 and 102, both. I think.
Yeah. And so I kind of got here, and we had a couple of writing classes, and it was just I remember even writing like obituaries about it was pick a celebrity. And I remember I wrote one about Josh Allen.
It's good practice.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's even for those, that's what you chose.
Yeah.
I think that's what you wrote for my class too, about the NFL. I think.
I remember we wrote about
because I use it as an exemplar with my students now. It was so good.
It was about the viewership.
Yes, that's what it was about. Yes, right.
I remember bringing up the stats about how they're going to international games and they're going to Germany and stuff.
What are some of the stories you've written about Utica University sports that you're really proud of, and why?
So for Utica sports, I wrote a season preview this year about a lot of it was about Tyler Zalkowski, who he transferred in this year, and everyone kind of knew from because I have a couple friends in the football team, so I was getting kind of their insight. Everyone kind of knew that he was just they haven't seen someone like him ever here. And
he was that good?
He immediately came here, and he broke every school record this year. They got the first home bowl game.
Yeah.
And so I just remember writing that one, just hyped to see this guy. And then I ended up obviously broadcasting every home football game, so I got to see him up close. And it was this guy is super talented.
Now, what's the difference for you between writing and broadcasting? Because for me, most of my life, I wrote stuff, the newspaper column and stuff. And it's really different to do the videos now, because when I write, you think about writing as top down, you start at the top and write your way down. When you do a video, you think side to side because you have a timeline.
Yeah.
So for me, that's kind of a big abrupt kind of change of way to visualize and think about stuff.
Yeah.
For you, what's the difference between writing and broadcasting to do live TV or live radio or whatever you've done with that?
I feel for the biggest difference is more of the amount of time you have. Like for writing, it's like if you don't know something, you know, you have time to kind of search it up, whatever,
Right.
get your facts straight. If you're in the broadcast booth, you know, you gotta know your stuff, or else you just
In the
can't
moment.
say, yeah, it's like real time. You just kind of gotta,
Yeah.
you know, it's almost like, you know, what we're doing here.
Right. Right. It's a lot harder in that way too, because you can't
Yeah.
look stuff up. Now, you also wrote about a topic that I talk about with the students, but not with my coworkers at the school. AI.
Yeah.
Now, I embrace AI and I use it a lot, but some people don't. Now, you talk to people about this on Utica University. What were your findings?
So I talked to a couple of professors here. One of them was Jason Denman. I forgot the other professor's name, but I talked to.
What were their feelings?
One,
about
I think
AI?
it was Wesley Corvos,
Uh-huh.
maybe. So they were like, it's scary. You know, they were acting like, if
And
you ever
it
seen one
is
of
in
those,
a way too.
Yeah,
I
they were
mean-
acting like, if you see one of those horror movies and it's like, oh, the
Yeah.
claws coming in. That's how they were kind of talking about AI, like it's gonna take over everything. Like, not only are they scared for students, so like that they're not getting the proper education. Like some of them are scared about their own jobs and stuff, and it just, you know, kind of made me. After that, I kind of almost shifted my mental focus on like, okay, like I want to pick a career that's not going to get touched by AI. Like I had to talk to one of my friends. You know,
well, you could pick a career where you use AI. You know, I think a lesson of AI is throughout history. Any time a machine comes along that can do things better than people can, the people that succeed are the ones who used to learn, who learn to use the tool, or use the machine. You know, so I think that the students who are going to succeed in their careers, and the people that are succeeding now, are people that just have integrated it into our practice.
See, I think that with AI, I think everyone should be using AI. If you're not using AI, it's almost like you're falling behind. But the problem is you can't become reliant on AI because then it makes you, you know, almost makes you dumber. Like you're not going to be able to think on the spot anymore because you get too reliant on, Chat GPT, what does this do? You know, like
I think it's like people will just have to like learn how not to.
Yeah.
Like
same thing as the internet.
Right. Like I use it to do the writing for this. I actually wrote the script, and I use the AI to write the captions for like the social media posts, which is like half of my audience is from Facebook and stuff.
I use a lot of AI for
but I
emails.
can still think. I can still talk.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, I feel like it's sort of like just does sort of like the grunt work. And it frees me up to focus on like pursuing stories or thinking about stories.
See, that's the biggest thing with it.
How about
Saves
you?
a lot of time. Yeah. Like for me, it's the biggest thing I've been using AI a lot with is like emails, because like I kind of got all the ideas of like this is what I want to.
Right.
This is the point I want to get across, but it's kind of hard for me to word it like in the exact prompt. So AI does a good job of doing that. But in terms of like, you know, going down and actually speaking to someone.
That's got to be you, right? But AI can also help prepare you for the interview too. Like
I've been doing a lot of like, because you know, with the time I am in my life, almost graduating, I've been asking AI, how can you prepare me for this interview?
You should.
Like,
yes.
what type of questions do you think I should? Stuff like that.
And if you send an email to a prospective employer, I definitely think you should do it through AI first and like ask it like how, because like 1 or 2 words can change the tone or meaning about things. We got to wrap up. Well, what a jam-packed show we had here today. So Nick, congratulations on your award. It's been great to work with you. You're going to have a great future, and you're still here for now, so we're glad for that. He recently won a Raymond Simon Institute award at the Utica University. We've also been talking to, I just want to remind you before we go, United Way of the Mohawk Valley Impact Award Honoree Breakfast is coming up soon. You can learn more at unitedwaymv.org/breakfast. I'll be there. Be glad to talk to you, have breakfast with you. We're going to have this whole episode of Hot Seat Media Monday on streaming Wednesday at 9 p.m. at uticaphoenix.net/Media Monday. Thank you all for listeners for tuning in tonight and streaming us. We're at Facebook Live. Our sound engineer is Jonathan Brooks. He's DJ J-Easy. He's up next with the Easy Ride Home. Jim Hale records the show for YouTube and podcasts, and he's our AI content producer. Nabil Khan, Billy Christopher, Stefan Rubitsky, and Nick Phillips, our associate producers. I'm your host, Ron Klopfanstein. I'll be back next week with another Hot Seat Media Monday. This is Ron Klopfanstein. Meet me in the hot seat every Monday at 5 p.m. for Hot Seat Media Mondays on 95.5 FM, The Heat.